of the meninges, okay? And the outer layer, the dura and so forth, they kind of come off when you...
Can you peel the pea off?
You can. That's what I'm kind of sort of trying to illustrate here. There, can you see right there?
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing, okay? I mean, it's really thin. Okay, you can tell it's there because the blood vessels are embedded in it, okay? Okay, it's quite thin. It's kind of hard. It's fragile to pick it up, okay? All right. Okay, the cerebrum, okay, like on the human brain, okay? This is it. It's all this stuff, okay? The whole, just about the whole thing, okay? And the cerebrum has the same sort of little structures here, okay? We've got, they look like the little ridges, okay, are going to be the gyri, the little grooves in between are the sulci, okay, just like, right?
Are all mammals the same way like that?
Mammals are, yeah, okay, yeah. I think as you get like maybe down to fish and stuff, that you actually, it's like maybe smoother.
The higher order organisms.
Yeah, okay. All right, and then there's the longitudinal fissure, which just splits the two halves of the cerebrum. It's the same thing in the sheep, which reminds me, what I really suggest you do is go over the model, okay, and then go over the sheep, because the sheep is more mushy. It's kind of hard to identify things, okay? All right, then, okay, in between here, so if we look at a sagittal section, there's the connection between... Yeah, the corpus callosum is the connection between the two halves of the cerebrum. Okay, when you have a split brain, okay, that you talk about like in research and stuff. Okay, this is it. Okay, they cut this corpus callosum. Okay. And then, okay, the diencephalon is about here. Okay, that's the midbrain. There's the diencephalon. Okay, so the diencephalon is the thalamus, the epithalamus, and the hypothalamus. Okay, the epithalamus is the pineal. When you look at the sheep brains, okay, on this one, okay, it's pretty. This one's there, okay, but you can see how this is kind of fragile. It tends to fall off. So the particular sheep brain that you pick up, you may not find one. Okay, it doesn't mean that there's no such thing as a pineal. It means that it just fell off of yours. Okay, and now can you kind of see, there's sort of like this sphere here. The thalamus is kind of like egg-shaped. Okay, that's the thalamus. Okay, it's kind of like egg-shaped there. You sort of like seeing the edge of the egg. Okay. And then here on the side, underneath it, there's the hypothalamus, beneath the thalamus. Okay, so diencephalon has 3 portions. Okay. The optic nerve is usually pretty easy to see. Okay, you can even see where it crosses over. It tends to be the mammillary bodies that sort of fall off, but there's the optic nerve. Okay, that's like the chiasm, it gets cut across there. Okay. And yeah. Okay, and then so the third ventricle. Okay, the third ventricle lies over the thalamus. Okay, remember that the third ventricle is real thin. Okay, and so you don't really see it as a discrete structure. It's between the two halves of the thalamus, so it would be like right over this. If you know that's the thalamus, then the space over it's the third ventricle. Okay, so the space over that. Okay. This is easy to see. That's the fourth ventricle. Okay, in there. So the fourth ventricle is in between the brainstem and the cerebellum. Okay, that one's easy to spot. The thalamus, you just really have to sort of accept this idea that it's very thin. Okay. All right. The other thing is, at least on some of these, let me try this. Okay, I'm kind of trying to pry open the ventricles. There we go. Okay, so right here towards the center, you can sort of see the lateral ventricle up in there. Okay, it's underneath the corpus callosum. You're just looking at part of it. It goes all through the cerebrum. This is just the part that comes near the midline. Okay, so you're not seeing the whole thing. It's much bigger than this. Okay, but this is the part that you can see easily. Also in here, okay, here's another one. See, this one's been cut across. That's the lateral ventricle. And you see that sort of dirty looking stuff in there? Mm-hmm. Well, you know, that's the choroid plexus. It's got a lot of blood in it, so it kind of coagulates, so it almost looks like kind of a little scab or something like that. That's what